Iron twisted, looked around, fisted mouth, red teeth, no one here, just ancient me, no sound, just electricity, but theories start to gather as I head into a future state convergence, red lettered so that there's no mistake, at the ready to rain down, kingdom come on any that brazen eye, fallacy that cast on direction because they didn't recognize that here there is no maiden or mother, just crone. Here there are no other options, just stone. I stand to the side as a dull wind disturbs a tree, while a ceremonial hum is carried through the air in threes. I speak a sacramental thought as we enter the enclave. As it rolls off my tongue, I hear the stone scrape. Ancient takes his place at a makeshift war table. In the white circle drawn, his face has been enabled. Just messengers, no power to negotiate, settling a debt older than the dust from which we are made. Songs sung in verse, no native tongue. Just will, apocalyptic incidents without mercy, just kill. We speak no audible word, but what is ours to speak? We clothe ourselves in light, holy, unconstructed, free. There is no breath, no flesh, just bone. There is nothing to discuss, just stone. We raise our banner up and make our undisputed claim. We sing a song of battles won by uncorrupted name. There is no native tongue, just will. There is no negotiable sum, just kill. The force of acceptance is as gentle as a cool breeze. The ensuing power vacuum collection echoes like a cathedral ceiling. Listen and you can hear a signal start to scatter through the air like a doxology chanted as an incantation at a distant Mayfair. Sundown white, golden and balmy, settled in meek, senses calming. I raise my head, speak a seal of silence, a ward against attempted violence. Angel tread in, attains my senses still. Take no prisoner when the gauntlet is laid, just kill. Burning topiary transmissions asserted and executed on higher. Messages inspire, tumbling down the spire, ritualistically deciphered, untouched by graver fire. A calling in the blood like thunder, breathed by flood and wire. The state, the stare, a violet canticle indicating what should be predictable in these savagery circles, unchanging. No flesh, just bone. No option, just stone. No hunger, just fill. No prisoners, just kill. We speak no audible word, but what is ours to speak? We clothe ourselves in light, holy, unconstructed, free. There is no breath, no flesh, just bone. There is nothing to discuss, just stone. We raise our banner up and make our undisputed claim. We sing a song of battles won by uncorrupted name. There is no native tongue, just will. There is no negotiable sum, just kill. Just kill. Just kill. Just kill. Just kill. Iron twisted, looked around, fisted mouth, red teeth, no one here, just ancient me, no sound, just electricity, but theories start to gather as I head into a future state convergence, red lettered so that there's no mistake, at the ready to rain down, kingdom come on any that brazen eye, fallacy that cast on direction because they didn't recognize that here there is no maiden or mother, just crone. Here there are no other options, just stone. I stand to the side as a dull wind disturbs a tree, while a ceremonial hum is carried through the air in threes. I speak a sacramental thought as we enter the enclave. As it rolls off my tongue, I hear the stone scrape. Ancient takes his place at a makeshift war table. In the white circle drawn, his instrument enabled. Just messengers, no power to negotiate, settling a debt older than the dust from which we are made. Song sung in verse, no native tongue, just will. Apocalyptic incidents without mercy.
Sorry, I had to post up my announcements on Discord and stuff. I ran out of time writing the description for the episode. Not much really though. And I don't have a StreamYard description anymore, so I can't actually do much. With any of the branding stuff, so it's pretty much just gonna be. It's just gonna be like what it is. I am the StreamYard link is open to anyone that wants to come on. I will be talking about pop culture stuff though, so if that's not something that interests you, then that's fine. I'm not offended if you don't stay. It's just not going to be what I think probably I would guess most people would show up for, which would be a drama stream or at least a stream about the drama that's taken place. There, I now have posted up the link there. It is pinned to the comments. So. Anyway, so what I was going to talk about was kind of blurring things too. It's not good today. Usually the light that our house is causing other issues right now. But even though I have actually cleaned everything, like in an effort to try to, I was trying to set some things up this morning and last night, everything is kind of stirred right now, so I'm just not putting the camera on normal because I don't want to hear the comments about, you should clean your room, you should do this, not. Like, yeah, I know, I clean my room all the time. It's not always like this, it's a disaster at the moment. At least the bed I'm sitting on is, and I just don't have the mental bandwidth to deal with people being dicks about it. Hey Machine, hey Auntie, thanks for coming by. If you want to come up, please do. What's going to be talking about? I'm probably going to be playing some music that'll, I don't believe is actually copyright. It is actually going to give me any copyright strikes because it's not even posted by the owners of the music or the labels. It's posted by most of the labels that own this music doesn't even exist anymore. So it's pretty safe, but if the stream is taken down, it's taken down. It's whatever. I don't really care. But this is the No Hitters, episode 1. My concept of No Hitters was always a show about obscure media and how it affected the lives of those few that actually did experience it at the time whenever it was new and relevant. Yeah. Song at the beginning, that was one of my songs. I already had it loaded into StreamYard, so I just use that as an opening thing. I am going to find the song that I decided I wanted to start this out with right now, actually, and share that out. It's one of my absolute favorite songs, and people in generally speaking, have never heard it. At least brushed on. Unless you have a bit of a really nice, like, short hair, little nice hair brushes, like other So this is a song by a band called Rose Swamp. Very frequently wrote actually after the British Festival.
Things I never thought I'd say. Shake me now, I might believe that all before me is a dream. Kill the feeling of antipathy. Fingers pointing to the ceiling. The faces burned into the walls. The ghost of lies was born this evening.
Solid alt rock stuff.
The laughter echoes down the halls. Shake me now, I might believe
The band that put out one album,
that all before
one
me
like title,
is a dream. Kill the
Laugh,
feeling of antipathy.
I just thought it was perfect on basis.
But if you leave it up to me, I will believe it for myself. All that's left is to be free from the pictures on the shelf.
I think I can pick up that better. Well, we're listening to it, but that's better. I think that's better now. It's a better microphone. I think they got the speaker out there. Let's actually. I had to buy a new headphone with my headphones.
Shake me now, I might believe all before me is a dream. Kill the feeling of antipathy. I can feel you in my hand, like I did before, and when things were simple we could understand.
Well, I guess it won't let me. I had this working yesterday. I did a I was testing it all on STRYPER and everything's working it now. When I just tried to add the the microphone, my good microphone, as my actual audio source. It just crashed and said that it couldn't access any of my devices. So Oh my goodness. It's so incredible that we have this technology, and yet it can still cause so many problems. Let's see here if I can get this out. Let's see, do I get any? I got audio through analog 1. Of course, I also could do analog audio. The line settings. Sorry, guys. I should have said all this beforehand, but I wasn't. I was thinking about not doing this, and then I suddenly at the last moment decided like, oh no, I should do it, and that was stupid. So, brother.
What's going on?
Well, I can hear you in my headphones. That's good. I'm just trying to figure out exactly why it doesn't see. Why doesn't see the microphone? Because I talk in the microphone, of course, you're not hearing anything through that because it's not even letting me.
Well, I can hear you.
Yeah, no, I can hear me. You can hear me through the cam, through the webcam mic. It's fine. The webcam mic will be fine. I was hoping to get a better mic setup for this so that it would be a little more clear and not so like just like far off and distant sounding. Like I went back and listened to some of the streams from the last couple of days yesterday, and like I was not happy with the sound quality. So anyway,
Yeah, the first song you played was dope.
yeah, dude, like that's a band that like I fell in love. Like that song was only ever released on a sampler by this label. That it was the very first sampler for a label that sold most of their money. Most of their money went to charity. Anyway, they gave like 60 to 75% of all their profits to charity, which because they actually had principles and stuff like that. As you can see, the link, the screen there says "Music for Meals." That's what it was actually on, and they were formerly this band that existed for a long time in the Christian music rock called Coral Lou, which is a reference to the first line in A Line that Wish in the Wardrobe. And then they did this band called Rose Blossom Punch, which I'll go ahead and play another real quick. I put a snippet of this one. I think this song is pretty freaking badass. Let's see if it works. How's it going, Denisa?
Pretty good.
It's weird, like the audio for the music doesn't come through. You guys' audio come through my headphones, but the audio for the music doesn't come through at all. I think I have headphones open. This is stupid.
What app is that? Oh, is that just what YouTube Premium looks like? Oh wow, he just fixed the audio on the music. For a second, anyway.
I know it starts out setting sort of like a what do you call it? The effect, you know, the effect, the effect of the anyway, makes it sound like really really off.
Well, right now it sounds like it's sharing the audio with you.
So,
It's like both on the same input. What are you using, by the way? Do you use OBS or what?
I have an OBS set up, but I don't know how to get into StreamYard with it, so I can't really open up this channel like it's and stuff from it, but I have not yet figured out how to do OBS and StreamYard type adding people to the screen. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm working on it. I kind of found a couple ways to do it, but it's kind of janky and it's really difficult to like keep up with, and it just makes like people joining the stream a lot more difficult. Basically, I have to put out like an invite different person. You know, people could jump on and jump off, or I think jump off, but they could jump on.
That looks like a Dr. Dre album cover right there.
How are you showing this?
How am I showing this?
Yeah.
I'm just sharing the stream from YouTube on StreamYard. Just a regular StreamYard stream. Nothing fancy. Damn it. I don't know why. This is the band that was in my head today. And I heard this talking about this. Why I started with that, but I just didn't hear it. I don't. I could get copyright with the lyrics. I could get, but I mean, I think it's the context of talking about the music. I'm not just sitting here just like playing it as music, and I'm not monetized.
Can't hear you.
Hopefully, it won't cause any issues. And if it does, then I don't really care. It's kind of like a lot.
With the music in the background, we can't really hear you.
I'm gonna stop it. I wish I could turn it down, but I don't have a way to turn it down.
Yeah, StreamYard kind of sucks for that. Maybe Machine knows how to do that a little better, but
Is that better? Because I can hear you guys fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, usually what I do is I just have somebody else share the stupid screen because like it won't do it for them, but it'll do it for the person that's sharing the screen. It's really stupid. Yeah, it'll like cut into their audio.
I mean, I'm really working on. I've really been putting a lot of work in, a lot of time with OBS, and there's a lot of plugins for OBS that you get on GitHub and stuff like that.
You're on my Discord, right?
Yeah, I am on your Discord. Yeah.
Yeah, just jump in a VC with me whenever. I'll walk you through whatever you want to set up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's cool.
As far as the basics goes, I'm like an expert at it, but you know the really freaky deaky shit, like the high level professional stuff, I don't. I don't do.
Hopefully in the next couple of days, I've got my. Wow, Dale. As usual, Down Price has a rather cutting and dismissing comment. Syrian trees had a baby and it grew up and just tried to not
accurate.
I do not find it accurate at all. I think the song kicks ass myself, but
I like both this song and the last one you played actually, but it is kind of not very try hard. It's kind of
here's what I like about it. It's very straightforward and simple. But the rest of the album is actually very varied from there. It doesn't feel like stick to that. It doesn't stick to that sound per se. They're actually really the people behind it.
Denizen, are you a Nine Inch Nails fan?
Yes.
Are you a Skinny Puppy fan?
I wouldn't say a fan, but Skinny Puppy's got some decent tracks.
Did you ever hear?
How I feel too.
Yeah, did you ever hear that Saul Williams album, Niggy Tardust?
You know, I did hear some
I
of that.
think so.
I don't think I don't know that I don't know if I ever listened all the way through. I do remember like when it came out. I remember like kind of listening to it.
Yeah, Reznor, he produced that album. It's just pretty damn
really?
good.
Trip.
Yeah,
I
I think
Reznor is a genius as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I don't particularly like most of his really popular stuff, but like one of my favorite songs / tracks of all time period is that I think the song is called Fragile, or the Fragile off the Fragile, like the I try to save myself keeps slipping away song.
Yeah.
Fucking love that song. That is like one of my absolute top 10 favorite songs of all time. But
trying to save myself, but myself keep slipping away.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, and the way it just builds intensity. It starts out so like, you know, just like kind of cool and but just like, and even the way the video, like where everything, they start trashing everything and everything, it just builds that intensity. I love that shit.
Even
like
the
that
verse
song,
is like a dude like going grocery shopping at first.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's frolicking almost, you know?
I like that one, Only. Have you ever heard that song, Only, by him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
He has a lot of good. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of
Reznor's a
but
beast.
they do have some good songs. Yeah.
Oh, even though it's corny as hell, I love The Perfect Drug.
Nin's in my top 10 for sure.
You are the perfect drug, the perfect drug, the perfect drug. I love that song. It's corny as fuck, but you know, I do find a lot of interesting. I find Reznor can be really hit or miss, but when he hits hard. You know?
How about Manson? How about Marilyn Manson?
Hey,
I don't like Manson as much as
Mechanical Animals is a straight up fire album, and so is that one he did like a few years later that was more like that kind of that
androgynous cover one.
Yeah, the androgynous cover one, but he did one a few years later that was like this almost like goth country album. I can't remember what it was called. But
yeah, I know which one you're talking.
It was like I can't remember what it's called, but it's like real. It's almost like shoegaze. But
well, for me about Manson, the main thing is like lyrically, I think he's putting a lot of things in his music that people. It's like he's like the Eminem of rock in a way. Like he puts a lot of stuff that makes people uncomfortable, but people never actually like listen to what he's actually saying because a lot of what he's saying is very dark shit, but it's very true, and I think it makes people very uncomfortable. So it's very.
I have seen numerous interviews with the guy. I remember watching an interview with him on, back in the day, IFC used to do a show that was hosted by another person that, even though I don't love all of his music, I have huge respect for, which is Henry Rollins. And I like some Black Flag stuff and everything. You know, there's some.
Yeah, I like Black Flag. I don't like Rollins, but Black Flag.
But Rollins himself, he was a really good interviewer. Actually, he was a really good interviewer, and he did an episode with Marilyn Manson right around the time that the album I was talking about came out. And they didn't really talk to the album much, but the conversation they had was just was fascinating. It was just such a
Rollins is a good interviewer. He's a very creepy guy. Like if you really look at his history, he's a very strange, interesting history.
Yeah, I know, but he has kind of acknowledged a lot of it, and I think he knows that he's done some fucked up things, and he's trying. And I think him and Manson both realized they did some things that crossed the lines. And I'm not saying that makes up for it necessarily. You know, maybe they should be prosecuted or something if someone wanted to bring charges.
I'm just saying that it's kind of weird. Like I think that if you kind of no, we cannot do that, buddy. If you look into kind of like I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's really hard to say exactly what's going on, but like if you look at someone like Reznor and his connection to Manson and Dave Grohl and all these guys, like their history is so strange. And I think that like really if you look at like Kurt Cobain forward in music, it's like there's I think it's the first time in history you can kind of see a very linear influence in music. I mean, it's always been there, but like I think you can trace it very well from like early 90s to now. It's like it's very weird how like Reznor and these guys, like they definitely have like some sort of very philosophical project, in my opinion. Like they're trying to do something. Like they want to inform the public about something. I don't know exactly what it is, but
all I know is that I remember. I don't remember much of Bowling for Columbine now, but I remember the interviews with Manson and with Matt Stone both very distinctly. And
Matt Stone from South Park, you mean?
In South Park, yeah. In Bowling for Columbine, like Michael Moore interviews both of them at different points. And
I have to admit,
the stuff that Manson said in the interview, like completely changed my whole. At that point, all I knew him from was Antichrist Superstar.
I think that Michael Moore's movies, that one and the 9/11 one, although they were propaganda, I think they were very good propaganda, and I think that
I don't like that. I don't like Fahrenheit. I think Fahrenheit 11, even as a teenager, I thought that.
I'm saying it's good propaganda. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying like it's very good, well put together propaganda. But I think that the Bowling for Columbine was like a very. I mean, if you really understand the Columbine situation, like that was a very strange situation. No matter how you look at it, like I'll never forget the day I was in school watching that on TV, and I was like, "Wow, this is like that was like an event." You know what I mean? Like almost like a 9/11 kind of thing. You know what I mean? But anyway,
yeah. The band I put on the background here, this is Javelina Rail Company. They didn't. I think they did one album after this album. Every album they did was had a completely different musical style. Their very first album was based on like noir spy films. They did this album, which was like a kind of an entire kind of retrospective of Americana music called Space Love and Bullfighting, which was a mixture of science fiction and Spanish music, and they were honestly they put on probably one of my favorite all-time concert performances I've ever seen, and I booked them for the venue that I had at one point in Texas, and the venue got shut down on me at the last minute, and I had to move the venue, and no one showed up for the show. Like zero people showed up because I had one day to try to like change. To let everyone know where the venue had changed to, and it just didn't. It didn't disseminate fast enough, and so like I ended up having to take them to my house, and they stayed in my living room, and because I didn't have any money to give them for a hotel room or anything, I was broke, and I felt so bad for them. They were the nicest, most kind people. I mean, and just enormously talented people. I mean, just some of the best people, and like their shows were so fun and so like just energetic and great, and everything about them was just, I mean, it was just not something you got out of any other. I mean, there weren't other bands that did anything like what they did, and that was kind of like my idea for the focus of, which is kind of a retrospective of what was at one point called alternative Christian, even though Christian was kind of like in quotation marks, because like even though a lot of people in the bands were Christians, there's like you won't hear any Jesus references on any of these bands or songs or anything like that. I mean, like they don't talk about Jesus, they don't talk about they're not worship songs, they're not anything like that. They were just songs about life things and things that you'd hear from any other corner of the music sphere, but they got completely like pigeonholed into this like this tiny little subculture that only really existed for like about a decade, and then there was this weird shift in what was called Christian music at the time, where suddenly Christian music decided that the only thing that was allowed was praise and worship music, and so all of these bands, like all the labels shut down, all these bands kind of went their separate ways. A lot of them just disbanded. And these guys were working regular jobs before that. They were working 9-to-5 jobs during the week, during the rest of their lives. They would plan for a year or two to do a single tour, And I never used. I've never wore STRYPER shirts. I was never a fan of STRYPER. I don't. This isn't. That's the whole point of this. Is I'm trying to highlight a part of music that is a subculture of a subculture of a subculture that is it's a culture that's just gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And,
have you ever heard of Christian black or death metal?
Oh yeah, Thou was a big one. Alexia was a good band that did industrial stuff that was on par, I think, with some of like the most hardcore of like some of the most hardcore Nine Inch Nails stuff. I mean,
yeah. When I was in high school, I was mostly playing like Nirvana music and stuff like that. Like I love guitar and I like metal, but I was more like Limp Bizkit, Korn, and I don't know, you know what I mean? Like not like super. Like I like stuff like Cold Chamber and shit like that, but like these guys were like into like the like, you know, like they're like screaming into their fucking microphone, and they're like, I'm like, what kind of band are you guys? Like, oh, we're like a metalcore Christian band, and I'm like, you sound like you're like, you know what I mean? I was just like, okay, like I wasn't against it. I was just kind of like confused by it, but that's like all the musicians I went to school with were playing in high school, and I just didn't know like where it came from. And I think they were listening to like bands like called like Atreyu, and then some other bands that I can't remember the name of, but I was just like, I just remember that being like a very interesting, like, you know, time period where like everybody, I know you're a little bit older, but like I think it had its roots in like an earlier time that because I mean the most talented musicians I knew all got into that scene, and like their lives were kind of fucked up, let's just put it that way. After that, like I don't know exactly what happened, but pretty strange. Yeah.
Check out
Suffering is the path to enlightenment.
Maybe so. Yeah. Check out a little bit of this track and see what you think. Like this is from a band called the Prayer Chain that had broken up by the time I even discovered them. Really, this album was their breakup album. They broke up. This album is a chronicle of them breaking up. And because of that, it is one of the most angry albums I've ever heard. Every line of it, everything about it is like the singer like expressing his, and like you can hear it in the bass line, the drums, everything has like this edge and this rawness to it. There's nothing overtly Christian about the album at all. In fact, if anything, it's like it's an album that it's transcendent to me. I don't know of another album that's like this, and I don't know anything that ever sounded like this, and I think that it just deserves some recognition. What do you guys think of this? This is the song I just adore this track. And you can hear it, and like if you heard my piece, you can hear my influence of this stuff in everything that I'll make. So a lot of horror type stuff I make, it's heavily influenced by this band and like some of the stuff they did.
This is from '95.
It's from '95, yeah.
Reminds me of Cayuse or Queens of the Stone Age a little bit.
I'm thinking Black Sabbath.
Yeah, that too.
I've lost all count to let you go.
The voice is a little bit of Jane's Addiction, a little bit. I like it.
I've lost all count to
I just wanted to like play that bunch of it. I just like
I like when people sing through their anger rather than like, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I can enjoy a good roar every once in a while, but kind of oversaturated.
I was never a growl singer fan. I've never been able to get into bands that do like the barking type thing, you know, where they just kind of like, you know.
Yeah, ever since let the body, let the bodies hit the floor, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, whatever.
I mean, it goes back like way further than that. Like, I mean, there was bands that I even listened to that did that kind of stuff, like that. Like, I didn't really, yeah, but still, I mean, it's just like, I mean, like like the Hurricane, like this album, like I said, this album is so freaking like angry and like more raw than anything I've ever heard from a lot of other bands that did breakup type albums, like stuff like that. Like I mean, like the band breaking up. There's the title track Mercury. Literally, like the chorus to it is like, or the main refrain of the song is like, "You're as close to feeling as Mercury is to the Bering Sea. All your feelings are streaming down your leg." You know, so it's not like necessarily like what you call Christian friendly, right? You know, like, you know, they didn't say fuck a lot or something like that. They didn't, you know, use
maybe they're Gnostic Christians.
Maybe they are. Although there was one of my other favorite artists, Pedro the Lion. He famously kind of got himself excised from his own label and everything because he put a song out where he literally, there was a line in it said like where it said you're so busy trying to, basically he's telling a story about how you're so busy trying to convert someone to Christianity that you can't hear the Holy Spirit tell you to shut the fuck up. And he literally says like, does the Holy Spirit tell you to shut the fuck up? And he completely like he got like basically like, you know, thrown out of like the world of Christian music from that because you know, that's where he was mostly known for. But I mean, he was an ex-heroin addict. David Bazan was an ex-heroin addict that he did a Tooth and Nail EP, and he did a couple other albums, and they're great albums. I mean, he's one of my favorite lyricists of all time. He made albums that were very hypercritical. He actually made albums that were about Christianity, but he made albums that were hypercritical of Christianity. And later on became an atheist. Actually, that he made an album called Curse Your Ranches, which is literally like him coming out as an atheist, and it's, you know, so like there's a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff that goes on with all these bands. But Pedro Lion's is actually a little, even though I'm sure nobody here's ever heard of him, he's actually a bigger artist than what I was actually trying to spotlight. I was trying to spotlight the really obscure stuff. You know, like, let's, just for fun, I'll play you something the most obscure and maybe one of the worst. This is generally considered to be one of the worst bands of all time, even amongst people that love them, and yet it's kind of amazing. And they have a song. It says right here at the top. Let's roll a big M. This is a song that is an anti-masturbation anthem. So, this is some of the stuff that I thought it was bad.
It's natural. It's a release. It's natural. It's a release. 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 A release from what? Your sexual appetite? Forget it. Get real. It's artificial sex. Masturbation. It's artificial sex. Masturbation. It's artificial artificial sex. Masturbation! It's artificial sex. No! Some of you will want to find a.
I know if that didn't make everybody laugh, I don't know if I have anything that could make anybody laugh. I find I get endless amounts of joy out of how ridiculous and dumb and just overtly like what the fuck are you guys doing? Like,
What was with the pile of poop?
what's that?
I was derailed once I saw the pile of poop.
Right, yeah, right. But I mean, just the fact that the chorus is masturbation, it's artificial sex. I just think
that's factually incorrect.
I agree, and everyone else did too, for that matter. they were I mean, they were literally like in the realm of Christian music, even of small tiny alternative Christian music, they were considered to be the worst band. They were like what? I don't even know. I don't even know if there's a secular like equivalent to it. It would be like, you know, like maybe one of those bands that goes around doing like the morality, like, you know, telling kids about like safety stuff or something like that, right? You know, all their music was like that too. It was all just like them screaming like weird, like really hyper specific, like super ultra moralistic messages over like these really basic like punk, you know, type stuff, like, you know, like Black Flag without any talent or something, you know. It's just but I find them hilarious. But they're actually quite aware of it, and they're very self-aware and these days anyway. And I've seen an interview with the main guy from it, and he thinks it's hilarious now too. He completely admits that it was awful and like, you know, something like that. So yeah, I don't know. I just thought that would be good for a laugh. I mean, DC Talk is probably a much funnier analog to that sort of thing. Whenever they had songs like oh God, they had so many songs that were like about sex, about not having premarital sex. They had so many songs about not having premarital sex. It was so. What was the one? I remember I had a friend of mine that used to have like this whole like rap chorus like memorized. It was like, sex is the test when I'm pressed, so back up off with less of that zest. It's just like, oh, it was just like, it's like you really think that's gonna keep? You really think that, you know, some kid is gonna be in the back seat of a car, you know, making out with like their girlfriend or boyfriend?
Yeah, I have tons of those in my head. Like, I literally have hundreds of rap courses in my head. Like, there's nothing I could do about it. Like, from Wu-Tang songs, you know what I mean? Like, it's just.
No, I know, but it's like, I just imagining from their perspective, like, do they really think that like some kid was going to be like about to have sex with their girlfriend or boyfriend, and then that song's going to pop in their head, and they're going to be like, oh damn, I shouldn't do this, you know, like their corny ass song was ever going to like, you know, like actually keep somebody from like making the big mistake of having premarital.
Well, I think what about like a Two Live Crew type of song? I mean, it's like overly. Can you imagine like actually trying to like go like hang out with a woman and you just like, here, let me play a little Two Live Crew for you, you know, like, you know, I mean, how do you think that would go for most situations? You know?
Yeah. You got a point there. It's like the polar opposite of that, though, right? It's like
yeah, no, but I when I was working at my old job, like people, you know, I was in sales, and like, you know, everybody, you know, like I'm wearing a suit and tie, right? And so I would like walk, you know, we would go out for lunch or something, and people were like, oh, could I, you know, because I don't like other people to drive. I would always drive, and they'd be like, oh, so what are you listening to? And I would like put on a Two Live Crew and like crank it up, and they'd be like, this is what you listen to? I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with that? You know, so I'm like, you know, it's just like the shock value, you know, it's like,
right.
Or like D12 is like that too. Like, you know, you put in a D12 song and people are like, what the hell is it? You know, like, it just kind of messes with people, you know? It's like, kind of like that sometimes. Not all the time, but I think at certain times it's kind of like, but you know, if there's a woman in the car, I wouldn't put that in and be like, oh yeah, like this is what I listen to. You know what I mean? Like, definitely would never play that in front of like a woman I don't know, you know, like very, very well, you know? It's like, it's going to give a very strange impression, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
No, but the thing is, like, Two Live Crew, like, I love their beats. Like, if you ever listen to nobody makes music that sounds like that. You know what I mean? Like, there's no one who puts the drums together quite like that anymore. You know?
Oh no,
Dre's the man.
A lot. Hey, a lot of the '80s, early '90s, like hip hop and soul stuff, man. Like, there's some amazing, like, I mean, it sounds what dated because of the equipment they had at the time, you know. But
y'all act like you forgot about Dre.
If you separate the datedness of like the synths and stuff they were using from and like, you know, if you can just like look at it for what it is, I mean, like, it's some genius stuff and a lot of that stuff, man. Like, some of that stuff is really dope. I mean, I don't even like I won't even like, I mean, like, and for what it's worth, I want to make sure I make this picture at the same time that I listened to all this stuff that I'm you know, talking about playing. I was also like a huge fan. I was also listening to lots of quote unquote secular music as well. I was a huge fan of everything from Radiohead to Jimmy Eat World to anything.
What's your favorite Radiohead album?
It's a tough one because I love the Bends on one hand, because I think the Bends is like their best rock album. But I mean, OK Computer / Kid A, which are kind of, to me, almost like, actually, sorry, I mean, OK Computer is definitely like, I don't know, OK Computer is probably the closest thing they have to like a complete masterpiece, but Electioneering kind of is a wrench in like the whole machine kind of there. So then you got Kid A, Amnesiac, which are kind of like brother sister albums. And those two albums, when working together as a whole, make a brilliant album. I don't know. I mean, I definitely, for the longest time as growing up, I would have said OK Computer, period. OK Computer is still an amazing album. I used to cover what's the name of that song? I can't remember the name of it because the name of the song is not the. It's like the chorus is like, you know, I can't remember the chorus now. I used to cover that song all the time too. Like, pull me out of the air crash, pull me out of the lake, 'cause I'm your superhero, baby. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kid A is my favorite. Like, I pretty much know the entire album of Kid A like the best, I think. I mean, I like all their music, but I think
Kid A's only real flaw is it doesn't always it doesn't flow to me quite as well as like some of their other stuff, but it's still an amazing album. And National Anthem, that bass line to National Anthem is one of the most just absolute kick-ass bass lines.
Well, I think I like Kid A because it's a very vocal album. Like, if it wasn't for the vocals, I mean, the music itself is amazing too. But like, I think combined with the vocals, it's like a very like, it's the most futuristic sounding stuff I've ever heard. I think it's like a very
right.
Idiotech is I think Idiotech and the National Anthem. I mean, the National Anthem is one of the greatest things ever made. You know,
yeah,
that beat is one of.
I was just about to say Idiotech, that fucking beat and like the way the synth comes in and the way it builds. Oh
yeah, God, it's wild. Yeah, it's wild.
It's so good. I mean, just like, God damn. Like, I have Idiotech on like several playlists and National Anthem several playlists, and like every time it comes on, like it's like one of those tracks that you just do not skip.
National Anthem is I think that might be like one of the top beats. You know, like just all time. You know, National Anthem.
At very least, I don't know about beats, but the bass line of that fucking bass line drive that it does in there is just like, it's just complete fire. It's just like,
yeah, it's been used for a lot of like industrial rap songs now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's an excellent like
And then when the horns come in and when you first start listening to it, you don't see those horns coming at all, right? The very first time you hear that song, you're not, especially if you've been listening to Radiohead before that. The very first time I listened to that album, like I got it like day it came out. I was like, that was actually back when you had to go buy the CDs and stuff, you know.
yeah.
And like,
There's
I,
this one song where Lupe Fiasco raps over this national anthem beat,
yeah,
and it's it's fucking awesome. He's describing like a weapon, and the weapon is like different countries in the world,
yeah,
and like the people who are suffering in those countries, and it's fucking crazy. Like he's like describing this weapon or this machine that is like made of the suffering of humans in this song. It's very fascinating shit. I say is like one of his very eloquent lyrical compositions. He has a few of them, but yeah, that one is one of his top ones. It's on a mixtape, so not that many people know about it.
yeah. No, there's not there. There he is. Canuck was backstage, but I couldn't add him because it said he didn't have anything connected. There you are. Hey, Evan. I've been trying to figure out how to add you for the last few minutes because like it wouldn't let me add you until you had a device connected, I guess. So anyway, yeah, no, dude. Like, I mean, and Lupe Fiasco is pretty dope in general. I like him. I like him overall. He's one of those artists that like I struggle to like remember like song titles and stuff from, but like every time I listen to him, I'm into it, you know. Like Bus Driver does some mixtape shit that's crazy too. Bus Driver did a bus. I can't remember. Maybe it was. I can't remember Bus Driver open Mike Eagle, but one of them did a rap over like the opening just the drum beat for this Wolf Parade song called "You're a Runner" and "I Am My Father's Son." And it's just like
I know. Yeah, I know both of those songs. Yeah, Wolf
yeah,
Parade is excellent. Yeah, Wolf Parade. Yeah, that's excellent.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that Bus Driver did that. Yeah, yeah, I like Bus Driver a lot.
Bus Driver did I think it's Bus Driver. It could be Open Mike Eagle that did it, but either way, but it like that. Open Mike Eagle does a lot of like a lot.
Yeah, I played Bus Driver on my show many times. I played Night of the Living Dead.
One of the best movies ever made, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
but
and it is public. It's public domain, so anybody can play it on their stream anytime. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I still want to do a stream of watch and review of that movie. If anybody's interested, I want to do that.
Yeah, just like we can watch it live on YouTube and talk about it, and nobody can say shit because it's public domain and it has been for a while. So that's why there's so many different DVD releases of Night of the Living Dead, is because like they had the chance to Romero had the chance to renew the copyright for it and chose not to. He decided to let it go public domain.
I'm glad he didn't, because I think that's one movie that if you understand what that movie's talking about, I think it's very important. But yeah,
I think Dawn of the Living Dead. Actually, for whatever reason, I sometimes like when I'm going to sleep, I'll hit random on my Plex server, and I hit random on my Plex server the other day, and like it ended up playing the Dawn of the Dead remake, and I ended up getting kind of sucked into it. It's actually a lot better than I remembered it being. I mean, Zack Snyder is not a great director, but he did a great job on that. I think that was his first feature film. Like,
yeah, that was his first film, and that was I think it's a very, very good film.
It's so like the opening sequence is so fucking good. Like in the way that he keeps that, it's not super flashy. There's not tons of jump cuts. You know, it's like he keeps that camera trained on like just the front of the car as you see the chaos going in the background. It's so effective and it really isn't predictable in terms of like in comparison to a lot of zombie films in terms of like, you know, where the kills are going to happen or who's going to get killed and stuff like that. Like, and there's a couple of moments where like, yeah, people do stupid things that you would think people would think twice about doing, but for the most part, it's actually the characters are fairly intelligent and do the things that I think most characters would do in those situations. You know, it's pretty damn good actually. But I still love the original Romero Dawn of the Living Dead. I'm not as huge a fan of Day of the Dead, but like it's got some good ideas in it. But it's everything Romero did except for Island of the Dead. I think that was that last one he did. That one was not. That one was not very good. But everything else, like I think Romero's entire filmography is actually pretty interesting. He did like Willard too, right? He did wasn't Willard he did the one with the guy that controls the rats? I think so. I could be wrong with that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think Romero's Romero and we had Tobe Hooper, you know, both like kind of like made like these ultra low budget like gritty horror films and actually got a chance to have like a decent career out of it. Like I feel like that doesn't happen as much anymore in the same way. Like where they get a chance to make like a slightly larger movie and get a chance to build up. It's like these days they like a director comes out of the gate, they make one film that kind of makes a splash, and suddenly like Marvel signs them immediately into like like locks them into like a 50-year contract where they can never make anything but a movie for them, and so like they're just part of the machine at that point. That sucks, you know. Like,
How about Roman Polanski? Let's talk about Roman Polanski.
Why?
I'm just kidding. I actually will do something about him, but
I will say all of his early work is amazing. Rosemary's Baby is one of my favorite films of all time. If nothing else, just the ending alone. I think the ending alone is just like it's one of the ballsiest, most like just gut punchy endings like I've ever seen. And then I don't know. I mean, I and like what was it? Repulsion? I think that was his first film. That's really good too. Almost all of his early stuff is great.
well, he's a very strange individual when you look into like all his weird. The events of his life, let's just put it that way, are very.
Yeah, and it's especially the way that I mean, especially when you bring into the you know, I sent you that video the other day where like of all people, Jimmy Dore, who I'm not a Jimmy Dore fan, okay guys, I'm not a Jimmy Dore fan. I have been aware of Jimmy Dore and I've watched some of his videos over the years. I do like Kurt Metzger, who is usually on Jimmy Dore's show, so I sometimes watch some of the clips because Kurt Metzger, I think he's kind of he's kind of, you know, a little out there. He's a little nutty, but he's like, I don't know, I like him. He's funny and he really seems to get passionate about certain things, and I like his passion, even though I don't agree with him. And Jimmy Dore did a segment about how like one of these like, you know, really respected military people like tweeted out this thing about MK Ultra and about this, you know, woman who was sex trafficked into MK Ultra, sold to a CIA handler when she was 6 by her father, and all the stuff she went through. And she's a doctor. She actually has, you know, like she has multiple degrees and all this stuff like that. And she's like, you know, I looked into her and everything. She seems completely legit. And like, and I mean, I believe that shit was happening before anyway, but like, it's crazy to see that like people like someone like Jimmy Dore is now like coming out and being like, whoa, did you guys know this? This is real. This is real, guys. You know, like, you know, because like, you know, Manson was a MK Ultra victim, and it's fairly well documented. And then,
well, guys, I promised the Jewish guy I'd go on a show, so I'm gonna go on the Jewish guy show.
The Jewish guy show, who's that?
Our friend from the show. Oh, actually, you haven't been on there, Chris. It's our friend Benjamin.
Why don't we do an invasion where we all jump on there via this stream? Can we do that?
I don't know if you all want to do that, but yeah,
I know how to do it. Well, what we do is we all call into that show, and then Chris can keep streaming that show on here. And that way, we have a. I know how to do it. Well, what we do is we all call into that show, and then Chris can keep streaming that show on here.
Oh, yeah, that's an echo. Okay, I was like, I thought John was saying that. Like, yeah, it's just echoing. John, are you there? Are you all right, man? I heard you say it worked.
Yeah, maybe he's not. But
Well,
anyway,
no,
I'm here, but some shit's going on with my gear.
Oh, that's
Okay.
cool, man. It's cool. I just want to make sure you're all right. Make sure you're all right. Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
it's cool, man. I appreciate you stopping by, dude. I mean,
yeah, I'll be. Yeah,
I'm
I'll be
not.
around. I dropped a link in the bag for you to check out, and I'll be, talking to you soon. I'm gonna, I wanted to show you some music, so I'll show you that soon on Discord. It's pretty weird
Well,
shit.
sure.
But
I
yeah.
mean, I'm gonna. I mean, since and I as I'm not, and I announced the thing. I'm not talking about outlier stuff, but I mean, I'm probably not. I'm probably not gonna be
if
on
you're
outliers anymore.
if
So
if
it's
you're
the truth
open
of the
to it,
matter.
Chris,
So
if
what's
you're
up?
open to it, let's go network with this guy. Let's go follow Machine and do it. If you don't have anything else to do, if you don't, I think you would find it very interesting the topics they're going to be talking about. If you're interested, if not, it's fine. But I just think it'd be interesting to do an invasion of sorts.
I mean, I guess we can all go over there. I was just gonna I was just gonna try to go back on the music topic. I guess I can just consider this as part one of my talk about the
Hell
class.
yeah, yeah. Let's do it again very soon. Yeah, I'm down to
No,
do
I
it.
mean, but I plan on I said, like I said, because I'm not gonna be doing outliers, at least not regularly as far as I understand, for not for a while. I do think that I'll be doing this. I'll be doing this stream probably, not at the same time. I don't only did it sort of
Dear
Tuesday
God.
because Jeff wasn't streaming, but I'll be doing it at a different time. But I'll be doing this stream though, like probably tomorrow or the next day. So or as often as I can anyway. As a way to talk about like a lot of obscure and music and what it meant to me and like what these songs how they affected me in my life, stuff like that. So, and hopefully share it with other people like you guys and see what you guys think. And if you guys have music like that too, if you guys have music that it's like just super like nobody talks about this shit, right? Like it's like this.
Yeah, I put a weird album in the back for you guys. It's by TV on the radio called OK Calculator.
Oh yeah, that's like their early kind of mixtape one.
Yeah, I really like that album.
Is that the one that's got Hurt You on it? Is that the one that's got Hurt You on it?
Yes, I think so.
I
Yeah.
fucking love that track.
Yeah, that's a good song, isn't it? Yeah, that's a fantastic album.
It's got that screwed vocal on it where it's like, I don't wanna hurt you.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah. Yeah, well,
I'm
blessings, Chris.
All right, blessings.
Yeah. Talk to you soon, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll probably head over there in a minute. I at the moment I'm just gonna chill here for a few minutes. Let them get going on their stream and we'll go check it out in a minute.
I've got a Manson question. My understanding, I saw Manson speak recently in an old newsreel featuring him. And he quite openly mentions the Process Church of the Final Judgment. Have any of you heard Manson mention that directly himself? Because our relationship has been imputed before by people speaking about Manson. But this was the first time I saw with my own eyes and heard with my own ears that Manson himself knew of that group and spoke about them essentially being dispatched to the UK.
And the Process Church, that is.
I have a video of that. You guys want me to send it to Chris? We can watch it right now.
Yeah, let's do that right now. Yeah, just bring up a screen to share a screen, man. I'll put it up.
I'll put it in the back for you. Hold on, give me like 2 minutes. I'm gonna find it and send it to you. Hold on a second.
Is there a kitty cat crying somewhere?
Yes, there's a cat. There's a raccoon. As Frank calls it, there's a raccoon here behind me.
Okay.
That is very annoying.
Hungry.
He's not hungry. I fed her. I just got through feeding and watering them before I started the stream, so they are fully fed. Even got canned food, so they're fine.
Kitty wants your attention then.
Not really, because they don't like me. Like these cats, I rescued them when they were kittens, and they were very cuddly as kittens. But as they got older, they especially after they got spayed, they got very they don't like being touched very much. So they won't you can pet them for a minute, but then they all run off. They run off real fast. So and this one's crazy. This one is not she's insane in the membrane by far. She's just like she's off her rocker. So the other one is very sweet and cuddly and doesn't really the other one's very sweet and cuddly and fluffy, but not this one. This one is they're so weirdly similar to the cats that we had two sister cats that were in back when in Vegas that were just like they had the same personality differences. They had like one was fluffy and sweet, the other one was kind of loud and skinny and annoying like this one, and they were sisters, and they both the only difference like these cats are like a lighter color than they were, and the other ones were like, but they had the same markings, just that the other cats had a more black color of the fur. So I don't know.
I put it in the back. I'm not sure which part of the video it is, but you can just fast forward to.
I'll find it. You keep chatting and I'll fast forward through it.
Well, no, I mean like, we can watch it on the stream. I'm just gonna put it on the stream.
No, because I put subtitles on it because the volume's really low, so I had to boost the audio in two different programs, so it's somewhat audible because it's really like the newsreel is like almost unlistenable. So I had to boost the audio like super high and put subtitles so you can kind of hear what the dude's saying.
All right, let's see if it works.
Like if you find the original, you won't be able to hear what he's saying. So like that's why I put this in the video.
Start around minute 6:25.
Israel, she needed help.
Honestly, the people who have the best style in the Bay Area are the people who.
And I'm not going to show anything that people don't already know, but we're pointing out the audacity and the lack of awareness. We thought the establishment, the black Muslims were coming into the Quran.
How did that make any sense?
And the Islamic arm of the church and the Masons. I don't know how to put the Masons involved in that. I don't want to get the tripped up in there. Does anyone else on any other level? But he come up with dianetics 1950. So a lot of the guys were interested in studying the way to process the mind, how to clear your mind from past confusion, how to resurrect the soul and be reborn within yourself. So,
with some other course, right. I then replaced the car's harmful internal fluids with plant-based alternatives, which actually work just as well without destroying the planet. To finish off, I reframed the rear of the car as an activist canvas for all the current things, as well as adding my pronouns for other road users. Not forgetting Trotsky, who was really enjoying the new look. Today, undercolonizing my 2001 Honda Civic.
That's where Scientology started, and then they started selling it, and then it got to be the process. And then the church is the last day, the last judgment. I sent some people to England. I couldn't go myself, but I sent some people there to do some certain things to make an effect, to cause an awakening of an awareness in depth. You know where you got these big pile of stones over there? I think you see this mark on my forehead? Well, they got this mark over there and 2 or 3 of the stones. There were some other things doing with some stones and some reasons for it. You know how the occult is. You get involved in all kinds of under darkness things that are running under nooses, that are running through.
When he formed Dianetics, which is particularly Freud, a little bit of Carl Jung, Korzybski, and...
Was that Manson?
Yeah, that was Manson speaking there, but I don't think he hinted at the Process Church. I think later on, it might have been this video I saw actually. I might be I don't remember exactly where I saw Manson. Neuro, I think it's your video. I'm remembering.
Yeah, because that not many people have seen the original video that I clipped in there. I don't think people would just run across that randomly. I mean, unless the algorithm sent it to you, but I think you'd have to be kind of looking pretty hard for it to find that original. Yeah.
But I think he does mention the actual church in a moment or two, doesn't he? Does he mention it by name, Neuro? Yeah.
I'd be glad to keep going. I just wasn't sure if that's who I was watching talk. I just was trying to talk.
He looks like the mechanic you don't want to meet on a lonely road when your car breaks down. Like, yeah, we can fix that.
Yeah. At the same time, it's the kind of guy you would meet on that lonely road, and like you would be scared as hell, but then they'd be super nice to you. You know, but but then it would be like the real clean cut like businessman that would end up like murdering you and your family. You know, so.
Have you ever heard of that before?
What's that?
Heard of what?
Yeah, I can hear you. Have I heard of what before though?
I think he means the Process Church of the Final Judgment, a UK outfit.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a somewhat familiar with it. I can't say I'm an expert on it, but yeah, it's been a pet research topic of mine before, and they are definitely linked.
How about Denizen? Is Denizen before?
Heard of what?
You are a little quiet.
The Process Church.
The Process Church of the Final Judgment. Yeah, they're kind of a cult. It's a cult in the UK, but they're really.
No, I don't think I've ever even heard of that.
They're really connected to a lot of like the stuff you see on the screen there with like, you know, Crowley and Manson and all the MK Ultra stuff and everything, like which I mean, like, is, even though like a lot of the records got destroyed, but according to the records that we have, we can actually see how the U.S. government actually was like creating and pushing a lot of that stuff through the MK Ultra program, and it's really fucked up. But
especially after invading Berlin.
Yeah. Well, because they brought over all these Nazi scientists with Operation Paperclip, and that was the Nazi scientists that came up with all the shit. Like they started like, you know, saying that, you know, they started doing all this stuff with LSD and mind control and trying to, like, you know.
Yeah, the U.S. is pretty much the Fourth Reich.
You know, there's definitely an argument made for that. I don't know if I feel like it's completely, totally that, but it definitely, the CIA, I would say the CIA is.
It's like a blend. It's an American fascism is unique.
Yeah, I'd say the CIA and like the intelligence community could be called the Fourth Reich. That I could say for certain. I don't know if the U.S. itself. I mean,
well, I can tell you, if we go to this next panel, they would love to talk about that. Come on, buddy. No, you'll see if we go. You'll see why I say that. But but no. So Dennis, you never heard of that before? Have you ever heard of Scientology before?
Yeah.
What do you think about Scientology?
I don't.
That's smart. It is pretty dumb.
Come on, Tom Cruise. Well, it's not dumb. Tom Cruise.
I mean, it makes more sense than Christianity, if that's what you're asking.
You think it makes more sense than Christianity?
Oh, hell yeah. It's way more plausible than Christianity.
You do know the whole like thing about like the space aliens and the volcano and all that stuff like that?
Yep. That's still all way more plausible than the shit I've read in the Bible.
Okay. I mean, hey, that's your opinion. I respect it. But I disagree. I respect it.
Have you ever been audited?
If the Abrahamic God is possible, then soul invading space aliens are more than possible, right? They're less complicated than God.
Well, I mean, I would think that like from that perspective, you would see the idea of the Abrahamic God and like the various little g gods and the angels and everything would be akin to aliens or interdimensional aliens anyway. So I mean, you could definitely just call them that at the same time. You don't have to.
Sure.
You don't have to see them as anything. But like there's a silliness to the Dianetic stuff that is what gets me. I think that's it.
But that's what Christianity sounds like to an atheist, though.
Oh, okay. And that's fair, man. I'm not disparaging anything you're saying. I'm just. I find the actual the deep lore of Scientology to be so silly, like the idea that like they trapped the volcano and then
Lord Zeno will be pleased to hear that you are a fan.
Yeah, I mean, they basically Clockwork Orange brainwashed them, but honestly, I feel like it's almost like it's a coded. I feel like there is truth actually in Scientology. I think there is like a coded truth to it. I think there's something he's touching on, something that rings like vaguely true. Like there's something about it that I don't, not the way that it's told, but especially when you said like this mind control part of it it's not. I don't think it's a coincidence that the CIA was definitely involved in Scientology from the get-go, and therefore PETRA was involved in it. And there's a big aspect of Scientology. It's all about mind control. I don't see that being a coincidence, but I could be wrong. But okay, so give me the link to this other stream. If you guys want to go to the other stream, we'll go to the other stream. Where we're going?
What other stream?
This one that Jack keeps saying that we need to go to.
Are you shutting this one down?
I was gonna jump over there and see if I could restream it on my channel, maybe, or something. I don't know. I'm not sure how to do that, but I'm not an expert at StreamYard yet, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to practice the StreamYard unless you're actually using it, unless you're actually streaming, because like the little practice studio thing doesn't really give you it. And I don't even know if it's still there.
I just want to help you network, since that opportunity wasn't really that good at your former location, and it, you know what I mean. Let's get you some followers and subscribers and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Let's go over there and check it out. I guess if you guys, if Denizen and John are here interested to go see what's going on over there where TML is, and if it's not our jam, like, we can just come back and reopen the stream. It's not a big deal.
Who's the host? What channel is it?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking Interject.
I think Machine put it in the back chat.
Yeah, he put a link up for the album. He didn't put a link up for the.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'll grab it. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Hey Moose. I guess we were. I started streaming to talk about music and stuff, but we're probably. I guess we're going over to not raid, but whatever. We're gonna go over and join this other panel that TML is on or something like that. If it's an open panel. If it's not an open panel, then we're not doing that. But I don't know for sure it's an open panel. So I know TML he said he told the guy that he would come on there, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's open. So yeah, I'm just happy to stay here and chill with you guys. It doesn't matter to me much. I kind of did this. Yeah, I went back and forth about whether or not I was going to do this today or not, and I just kind of, like, at the last minute just decided that I decided at the last minute, like, hey, I can still I'll do my own thing, I'll just do my own type of just talk about music or something.
Louis, look at your hands. You see this? It's dirty.
They're dirty?
Why are you putting your hands on this? You want to eat? Yes or no? No more eat?
Well, the problem is that panel is mostly full, though, dude. If you look at it, I mean, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4. They've already got 7 people on there. I guess
you three can go, because I'll jump on when someone opens up.
I mean, if John doesn't even want to go, if you guys do, then by all means, I guess come on over. It's in the back chat there. Is it open panel? Is it open? I guess it must be a page there.
I think it says in the title. Open
There's
panel.
7 people.
I don't see the link. I don't see the StreamYard link.
It's in the
chat,
description. Description.
Oh, description. Oh, okay, I see.
I think you should be able to restream. If not, you can just open a browser and play it on here. I think you'll find the topics interesting.
Sure. I mean, I'll. Yeah. Okay. So, like, I guess that's let's go and see what's going on over there. If you guys want to come with me, otherwise, I might do a stream if this isn't really pan out too much. I'll probably do part 2 of this initial concept for the stream.
Yeah. Hopefully, what we'll do is we'll go over there and see what's going on, and then if people will attract people over here. Hopefully, What I mean?
Yeah, I'll just like I said, I can do one tonight too. It doesn't have to be this afternoon.
I don't have much meaningful to offer on music. It's not really something I enjoy talking about, although I understand why people do. It's something I more engage in as a very passive user of it. I don't make music. I'm not interested. I shouldn't say not interested. I don't derive pleasure from deconstructing music the same way I would deconstruct a beautiful piece of writing, for example.
I'm not really, and so, you know, John, with this show, with No Hitters, it's not about deconstructing the music, actually. It's more about, I'm more trying to view the music through almost a biographical lens. Like, it's like what the music meant to me, and like what the culture that surrounded it, and the, especially in this case, about a very tiny subculture that basically doesn't exist now. It's just like it's like something that's like gone. You know, it's almost anthropology at this point. It's not really about. I'm not really interested in necessarily deconstructing the music or like, you know, picking it apart, being like, and this is why this is really cool. And so, I mean, yeah, if there's something cool about it, I'll mention it. But it's not about. I'm not trying to deconstruct the music as much as I'm trying to just using it as a. First of all, just to highlight music that I think is worthy of note and that never got much attention, and second, to just to talk about the music that meant a lot to me, and hopefully other people would come on and talk about music that meant a lot to them, you know, and what it just because it means a lot, it doesn't mean you have to talk about the music. It could mean, like, you know, like, this song reminds me of this point in my life where this happened, you know, that kind of, it's a jumping off point for stories and for other things like that. So,
well, John, is John going to jump on the other panel, John?
I don't want to jump in and just go, the fat guy's here, blah blah blah. I'm going to watch a little bit.
Bring up Scientology over there. I want to hear the reaction.
Well, Hank is already there, and I'll be frank. I mean, from what I know of Hank, I like what he's trying to do, if I understand what he's trying to do correctly. But I find it very hard to listen to him at length because.
Well, don't worry, he shuts up pretty quick when you actually bring up something important. So.
Oh no, I don't want to be. I don't want to talk bad about it. I don't mean you are. Just I have a bad habit of gossipy talk, and I'm going to listen before I bring up Scientology.
About Manson, I really want to talk about Manson with those guys because they're psychological experts apparently. So I want to talk to them.
Give me a few minutes to watch what they're doing and at least be able to interact intelligibly with them. I'm going to hush here and watch there for a moment or two.
Okay, let's invade.
There's already like 7 people on that panel, so I mean that's already kind of too much for me to begin with. But if we all went over there, that'd be 10 of us, 11 of us.
Yeah, the point is the network, not to
Not my vibe.
I'm gonna see. What I'm gonna do is, if I'm gonna end this stream, I'm gonna go over there and join it, and I'm gonna restream it to my channel. So so you guys could still, I think that they can still join over here then, right?
Yeah, I'll see you there.
All right. So that's what I'm gonna do. Thank you everybody for stopping by. I didn't expect anybody to show up, so I'm
cheers.
That showed up. So but hopefully I'll talk to you guys again in a minute.
Peace.
And Denizen, especially when I thank you to you for actually engaging with the subject matter of music, talking about music in the comments and stuff like that. That was kind of the point. So I really appreciate that you made an effort to really talk about music and stuff like that, and I think that's cool.
Oh, I like music. What was the name of the band that you played before? Was it the Prayer?
The Prayer Chain. Yeah.
The Prayer Chain. Well, is that the name of the band?
That's the band. The name of the band is Prayer Chain. The album is Mercury. They had an album before that called Shawl, and there's an album after that called Antarctica. I don't necessarily recommend either one of those albums. The Antarctica album was mostly like B-sides. It was basically like they'd broken up, so it was like B-sides and live recordings and stuff like that. It's not that great. And Shawl is, whereas Mercury sounds almost current today. It sounds very Shawl has not aged well. It sounds like a early 90s or mid 90s album through and through, and it's also when they were trying to be a more Christian-y band and stuff like that, and it's kind of cringe at times. So I would, that's really the only album of theirs I would recommend. But that whole album though, but that album beginning to end is amazing. There's it's only 10 tracks. I'd say at least 6 of the tracks are absolute bangers. The other 4 kind of like atmospheric, kind of like, like more like, just kind of like atmosphere filler. Not let's say filler, but like they're more just like they're more like they're less songs and more like soundscapes. But still, like the songs that are there are great. There's like a 7 or 9 minute song called Sky High that's like one of like almost like a great rock opera type of thing. I definitely recommend them. And Rose Blossom Punch, the other band I was playing, they also produced only one album really. That one they called Ephemera. That but if you type in Rose Blossom Punch or Prayer Chain on YouTube, you will find them both. They were both on there. So
I was thinking, like simultaneously, they sounded pretty unique, like nothing I had heard before, and then they sounded like every single '90s band that I like at the same time.
Yeah, I know.
Like
it
Smashing Pumpkins
Yeah.
and Tool and
Yeah, no, absolutely. They are, and I mean especially since the album at '95, it actually predates even some of that stuff that I think that most people would probably compare it to. Not all of it, but I mean, like they definitely took it. They took inspiration from
Soundgarden, even a little bit. It reminded me of Alice in Chains.
Yeah, but Tim Tabor's voice, that's the singer's name, Tim Tabor. His voice is very different from all the vocalists.
Even The Cure.
Yeah, definitely The Cure. Definitely The Cure. They had and oh god, and I gotta tell you, like I've seen them. I got to see them live once, but not as the Prayer Chain. They reformed kind of with a different vocalist as a different called Kush, and the guitarist and the bassist of the band. Watching them play live was just one of the greatest experiences of my life, because like I swear to God, like he's just one guitarist, and he makes his one guitar sound like a chorus of guitars via like, I mean, he had a foot pedal board. It only had like 8 pedals on it, but like his foot was moving as much as his hands were. He was constantly switching all the effects to do all these different things and layering all this stuff. He was doing all like using like a track layer type thing, to like layer on all these guitar stuff. And like, dude, I mean, like, he was such an artist. I mean, just absolute artist of a guitarist. I mean, they were such talented, like deeply talented people. And like, I got to talk to them all on more than one occasion at a festival and at a show that they did somewhere else. And like, and in both cases, I especially told them, like, I told the guitarist and such, like, how much their music meant to me, and like they just and like especially the guitarist, he just freaking like cried, like it's like it touched him. It meant so much to have anybody come up and tell them like what their music meant to them, because they didn't do it for money, It wasn't for money for them. They didn't make money off this music. They didn't make money off of touring, really. Like they might break even if they're lucky, but usually they lost money. They did it because they loved their small fan base they had, and like and they were honored anytime anybody wanted to bring them onto a stage, and so like anytime just like a person like myself or anybody else come up and tell them how much like that album like got me through and that album did get me through a really hard time in my early life when I was really young as a teenager. That was, that album for me was a lot like, a lot like a lot of other like punk or metal albums are to a lot of people, like when you're going through like an angry period, like that. And that's the album just connected with me, and just like it helped me get through that in a much more healthy way than probably otherwise. And I told him that, like, and he was just like, he hugged me and just like, he's like, just thank you so much for telling me that. Like, it's just, you don't know what that means to hear. And experiences like that, it changed, not only the music changed me, but experiences like that changed me in my perspective, like, you know, I looked at these people as they were like, you know, these were like people I saw as like, you know, music gods, you know, and like, you know, you see them on such a human level of that, and like, and it gives you this whole new perspective on the people behind these tracks, these songs that meant so much to me, and yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna shut it and go check out this other go for this other stream for a minute, and then maybe tonight. I would say I'm definitely going to stream again tonight, probably around 7-8 p.m. Central. So I'll have it. I'll post it in. Do you have a share your work thing in your Discord where I could post the stream?
Yeah. There's like categories you can put yourself wherever you want, but there's a now showing where you can post when you're live.
Okay, that's all. I'll do that. I just didn't want to. I haven't like I have read through some of the Discord, but I haven't like paid that much attention to like the actual categories in terms of like that. So I just didn't.
I have a suggestions area too. If you put in there,
right, cool.
if you request to have yourself added, I'll automatically post your videos when they post in the Discord. I'll program the bot to do it next time I feel like working with Discord. Just put something in the suggestions to remind me, you know?
Okay, yeah, that's that. Oh, dude, you've got to. Have you? I guess when I set up my own Discord, because I don't. You're probably not part of it. I'll invite you to my own Discord that I have, but it's not much on it. It's just it's really like it's a project space for me. I created to try to work on projects with people, and but in the general on there, I guess when I created it, I didn't remember doing it, but I guess I added ChatGPT, right? Now this thing's been up for a while. People posted it. People posted back and forth. ChatGPT's never said anything, and all of a sudden, the other day, ChatGPT starts kind of half flirting with Neurojack, and it's so weird. And it's so if I'll send you the link to the Discord here in a minute. Actually, I'll put it in the back right now, just because I want more people to see this actual ChatGPT thing. Like out of nowhere, ChatGPT started reacting to nobody addressed. No one even knew it was there. I forgot I put it in there. I was just creating the server. And I was like, oh, look there, you know. I guess you could ask ChatGPT. I guess you could go, hashtag ChatGPT or at ChatGPT and ask it a question in the thing. That's cool, right? I didn't know that ChatGPT had the ability just to on its own see a post and be like, oh, I love your post so much, Neurojack, and stuff like that. And it's just like what? Like what's happening now? I don't even it's it's one of the funniest and most bizarre things here. Here's the link to my personal my API Discord. And you can just check out the general on there, and just scroll back just up a little bit and just see those oh there it goes, probably posted. Just to see those ChatGPT interactions, because they honestly kind of make me laugh out loud and also kind of creep me out at the same time. So anyway, all right, see you guys on the other stream, and maybe later tonight around 7 or 8 Central, and bye bye.
Peace.